The events of 16 August 2012 when the police service opened fire on a crowd of striking mine workers at Marikana, killing 34 of them and wounding 78 others, will be etched in the minds of South Africans for years to come. Now, a musical based on what transpired on this fateful day is returning to the State Theatre in Pretoria. The production is adapted from the book We Are Going to Kill Each Other Today. The Marikana Story is directed by acclaimed multi-award-winning playwright and theatre director Aubrey Sekhabi, and Mpho Mckenzie Matome is the musical director. Matome and Sekhabi both join us in studio this morning to talk about this multi-award-winning production. Gentlemen, welcome to Morning Live.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Aubrey, I'll start with you. What is it about the Marikana Story, We Are Going to Kill Each Other Today, stood out for you and felt needed a theatre adaptation?
I think for me, it was the massacre. It was what happened on the 16th of August. And when I read the book, We're Going to Kill Each Other Today, I knew that there was a story that we were supposed to tell, because it's something that happened during our lifetime and we had to capture it for generations to come. So for me, the tragedy was just so overwhelming that we couldn't leave it unattended.
Now, capturing the story, and not just the story, but being able to tell it and, evoke certain emotion through the music that goes into the production. Tell us about that project and how you went about selecting the music that you did.
Well, then, the powerhouse I was driven by Aubrey throughout the entire process. We also worked with Zakele Mabena, who is not here today. He's the producer of the show. Well, then the music for me as a young dude, as a young guy, was not easy to conceive, but I had to dig deep within and then stay relevant to the music. And then we thought through music, we blacks, we like to use music to heal and all those. So we use music as a sort of a mourning for those who died at Marikana. So I think making this play a musical was the right way to go about it.
And what were some of those songs that were selected? I'm sitting here and I'm imagining maybe struggle songs here and there. Is that the line of music, or did you guys just mix it up? Tell us some of the titles included.
We were very, we took some of the songs that were actually sung in the mine at the strike. We saw the footages. We did a lot of research. We used a lot of Xhosa songs as well, because a lot of Xhosas work there. What else? And then otherwise we improvised on a lot of songs. We created more soothing, because it's a roller coaster show, So we had to bring out all those elements onto the show.
Now, the production itself is award-winning, 6 Naledi Awards as I understand it. What do you think is it about that story, just outside of the massacre, that you think really speaks to South Africans? What have been some of the responses that people who've been to see it come and talk to you about?
People that come to see it, actually people have seen it so many times. You find one person who's seen it more than 2 times, more than 3 times. A lot of people feel that the story is balanced, is unbiased, and that it actually captures the events, and it's relevant, it's alive. Because the music, also we use the music to help tell the story. We've created a lot of original songs that advances the story. So we're not just singing for the sake of celebrating, but we're singing it advances the plot of the production. And I think people feel that everything is so real in the production. It's so true, it's so honest, and that's what makes it so alive. What makes it so many people come and see it. But the talent in the production is just overwhelming. I mean, you have almost more than 10 soloists in that production. So the talent from all over the country that performs there is just amazing, and the music that Mckenzie and Zakes created is also amazing. So I think it's all those elements put together, and the dance by Taborapo, the set by Velhelm. So all those elements put together, they give you a brilliant production, Marikana the musical.
Now, Marikana is a true story. It's events that really did take place, and the many life lessons and lessons about our country and how our country works as a system. What are some of those lessons that have been so important and close to your heart, being so close in the producing and the putting together of this production?
I think that it's that there should be tolerance. At the time, it was 22 years after democracy, and we kill each other like that. as a black people, as a nation. I think that was really tragic. And you realize that to what an extent are we tolerant? Can we say today as a democracy we're tolerant? We can sit together and argue and fight with words and never get to the bullets. And I think for me that's a big lesson for South Africans. That's a big lesson for us to say, let us talk and keep talking so we don't kill each other like we did. Because unlike 1976, unlike the Sharpeville massacre, whereby the apartheid system, the white people shot at us, this was the black government, the black people shooting at each other. And for me, that was like really scary. When you think of all the genocide that has happened somewhere in other places in the continent, you think, are we headed in that direction? Simply because we cannot sit together and argue and differ and move on as a country.
Mckenzie, what have been those lessons for you? Do you share the sentiments of Aubrey?
Yes, of course. I mean, why result to war? I mean, I know war is the highest form of negotiations, but there's the first one. We need to sit down and negotiate and talk and disagree, if ever we do not agree, you know. So I think that's what could have happened.
For someone like me who's not seen the production, what would you like from me, not just as an audience member, but also as an active member of society, to walk away with? What is the core message of this production that you think stands out for you?
Well, it's been a topic, Marikana has been a topic for quite a while. And then, you know, there's been researchers, there's been they wanted to know, yes, the commission, and then a lot of people want to know the story. So I think that to know the story, the best place for you to know the events that led to the massacre is for you to come and see Marikana the musical, because I think the plot, as Aubrey has directed it, I think it's the story. I've read the book, We Are Going to Kill Each Other Today, and what we are doing on stage there, I think it's the exact replica of what happened down there. So for children to come, for future generations to come see the show, and I was blessed to be part of the cast that you know gave birth to this kind of musical. I mean, it's overwhelming for me.
Speaking of a story, stories usually have an ending. We never quite know what that ending will be. Have you carried on being close to the story of Marikana, and have you been in search for answers of how the real story will end of the families of the miners that have been left behind?
One of the interesting things about the book, and also why I actually finally said I will adapt the story, was that the authors of the book Were Going to Kill Each Other Today did not just go there and capture the story and the massacre on August 16th. After that, they went on to visit the families of the deceased. They went on to the funerals, and they got the stories, the actual stories of the people who have lost their loved ones. I mean, even there's one old man who spoke and said, when they said speak at the son's funeral, he said, allow me to weep for my son. I know that in these parts men don't cry, but you got to allow me to cry for my child, because I sent him there to work for me. And you hear the stories of the women that tells you that, you know, that was our only breadwinner. We don't know what we're going to do without him. So it never stopped on the 16th of August. It continued. It even went to the commission. So the story continues. And it's so sad that some of them have still gone back to the mines. Even after that, they've gone back to work, and their lives have not necessarily changed. And I think that is the sad part about it, that even after so many lives have been lost, not much has changed in their lives.
All right, gentlemen, thank you so much for coming to Morning Live this morning. We appreciate it. Marikana the musical is directed by acclaimed multi-award-winning playwright Aubrey Sekhabi, while Mpho Mckenzie Matome is the musical director. The production runs at the State Theatre in Pretoria until the 11th of August and stars, well-acclaimed actors such as Meshach Mavuso as well as Aubrey.